So when you're looking at what types of jobs I should be applying to next, what sort of things are going to be the next right step for my career, right? Not to just make sure that you're getting the raise, but also that you're continuing to grow and be challenged and get the opportunities and be fulfilled at work. It's really important to sit down and do some intentional thinking about career planning. What's next for my career? When I think about 5 years from now, what does my ideal workday look like? What does it feel like? What kinds of duties am I doing? If you can afford a career coach, that was one of the best investments that I made in my career. I remember a few years ago when I left Robert Half and I joined the executive search agency, I immediately knew it was a bad fit for me. Like, I was 2 weeks into the job and I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? And I did not consult my mentor before I took that job. And I remember when I called her crying and telling her that I had made a mistake and I was so unhappy. And one of the things that she said to me that has always stuck with me is that when you don't have a vision for your career, distractions look like opportunities. And that has just really stuck with me because I think that's so true, right? When you're unhappy in one work situation and you're just looking to get out of another one, or when you're not making enough money in one situation and you're just looking to get into another one, it's very easy to look at something that's shiny and think, oh, that's the right next move for me. So I'd say spend some intentional time really thinking about your career, like what the right next move is for you, what your ideal workday feels like, what it looks like, what is your zone of genius, right? Which is something that I learned working with my mentor. She talks about like the things in your job that you're really good at, that you enjoy, the things in your job that you are not so good at, and that you don't enjoy, the things in your job that you maybe don't enjoy, but you are good at, and finding that happy medium, right? That's your zone of genius. And then listing out what's important to you in your next career, having that list, keeping it handy, whether it's in your note apps on your phone or in a journal. And then as you start looking at jobs, comparing those jobs against that list, right? What does this job have that I want, right? Why do I want this job? Like, it is not just about the job. The company's interviewing you. You need to be interviewing them to make sure that it's the right move for you. And then in terms of making sure that you're getting enough salary in your next role, it's really going to come down to that negotiation. So when you change jobs, that is your opportunity to negotiate that higher salary. When you're staying within one company, you're going to get that cost of living adjustment, 2, 5, 7%, depending on the company every year. But changing jobs, I've been able to see a 20% jump in my salary, and it's simply by negotiating. And you can I have a video on how to negotiate your salary, but essentially you can tell them, based on what I'm seeing in the market, this is how much I would want in my next job, and give yourself a 20% raise. Either the company is going to see your value and they're going to pay you that, or they're not going to see your value and they're not going to pay you that. And then it's just not the right company for you. But it's really all about negotiating what you are worth, and making sure that the job is aligned with what you want to do.